Eric thinks he's the GOAT, but he's not.
All
So I'm gonna
right.
take him off the
What
screen.
up? What up, Eric?
All
What up?
right,
What
man.
up?
So how's it been going? What you think about what you've been seeing, man?
I'm not happy, man.
I'm
I'm
yeah, I
not
see you
happy,
ain't. I see you ain't thrown that Celtics jersey on yet. You've been
bro.
hiding that in the closet, man.
Nah, I'm not happy, man. We should have been done with this. You know what I'm saying? We should have looked perplexed. Nah, we should have just, man, we should have handled the 76ers already. We waited too long. Embiid came back. Now we're struggling, got to change the game plan a little bit. Um, I do like what I seen with OKC. They handle business.
Yeah, we're
There's
gonna
been,
talk about that later for sure.
yeah,
Need
there's a
that.
lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. I like what I see just now with my Celtics. There's a
All
few
right, well
things
we
you
gonna
like this
touch
too. We're gonna
base.
get to that.
We
Don't
go we gonna touch base on all of that. But first, LeBron James made some comments
Oh
that
yeah.
when LeBron talk, it goes viral. So we gonna see what he said. We gonna talk on that. I know Eric's got something to say because I call him Eric Bayless
Oh
because
yeah.
he's a LeBron hater.
Yeah, you don't like
So
LeBron.
we gonna see what he got to say as well. But yeah, I'm gonna pull it up and we're gonna look over it and we're gonna talk about it.
You know?
So LeBron says you can look at both of us and say that you love me without trying to S word on the other person. And usually it's on me, basically saying, they talk bad about him. But I know for sure that I've done my part on this in this journey. I never thought that I could be him, but I dreamed of the opportunity to live in the shoes that he lived in. I dreamed of being able to hit a big game shot, hit a winner as the clock went down. I dreamed of having my own sneaker. I dreamed of flying through the air like him. I dreamed of people screaming my name, everything that he did. I needed inspiration from certain people in music and sports during my upbringing. I needed that. What you think about that, man? You think that, first of all, who you think is the GOAT? And second of all, do you think that it's fair to compare them like just as players? Like, is the
Um,
GOAT conversation by position or is it an overall title that you get?
I don't I don't think there's an overall GOAT. I think you can talk about who's the greatest at their position. It's hard to compare people who don't have the same role on the team, because that at the end of the day, that's going to come down to opportunity. So how the team is built, who has what role is going to determine, what. Especially back then. Now you have more of like platoon style offenses. Everyone's kind of getting shots, and the three is more relevant, so people can rack up more points. But um, I don't think it's. I think the goat debate is outdated. Um, if I had to pick, like if you say like who would you start your team with, um, I would go LeBron. But he's a point forward, and that's a shooting guard. A shooting guard, especially back then, your only objective really was to score, and you're gonna play defense, but you're not gonna guard the 1 through 5, So when you talk about who offers more, um, it becomes a different conversation. But skill for skill, like they're two killers. I think when you have a player of that caliber, that 1-on-1, they could play in any era. Because it's basketball. If you can get buckets, you can get buckets. If you got, if you want to guard somebody, you're athletic talent. Like Jordan had crazy vert. Like he was an athletic specimen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not like he would just.
They say that Jordan had a 48-inch vertical.
uh
That's never been verified. I feel like it's like if Jordan had a 48-inch vert, he'd be able to literally jump and sit on the rim. Like you're talking
nah, that
about like crazy.
I don't know. That's unless they have footage to kind of like put it into perspective, because Jordan's 6'6". That's a hard thing to believe, but I mean. off of the footage that we do have, you can see like
Oh, he
how,
definitely was
yeah,
elite.
you know,
Yeah.
he was elite. And you look at some of the players that are in the league today doing good things, you know, and um, I don't know. It's a touchy subject too, because you know the older generation. I think you could do who's the GOAT of the generation, like of the players that were playing in this respective window. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
LeBron and KD and them are the like, and Steph and them are like the last of a certain generation. So like now the next generation is going to be looking. You got your Wemby, you know what I'm saying? You got your Shea. You got these other guys that are going to start to solidify. You got Joker and them getting
I'm
to
gonna get
kind
nasty in a second, Eric. Don't worry. I'm gonna let D White have his turn.
of yeah, no, but yeah, it's I don't think so. I mean, the 50s and the 60s, you know, 70s, yeah. But I think when you get to like the 80s and you look at combine numbers, I mean, you look at what people were running, the average athlete, yes, is better, but we're not talking about the average athlete. You can't tell me that a dude who's got a 45, 48-inch vert, you know what I'm saying, and is laterally quick is just going to be a nobody in today's game. He averaged 30 and you could touch him, you could clothesline him. You know what I mean? Like you can't, you got to let the dude come down when he shoots. These are the rules are different. So it's hard to compare because they've changed so many things. But I'll let you go. What you think?
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't even think it's close. And I don't think I think Kobe Bryant's better than Michael Jordan. I think Kobe Bryant was better than Michael Jordan, just from a pure competition standpoint and who he had to play to get his championships. See, I think people misconstrue 90s basketball. And it's like you talk to old heads, right? And they'll tell you that Tupac and Biggie are the best rappers. It's the 90s, bro. It's like there's like this aura with the 90s that people can't get past. The players were not as fast. We've seen the film. I'm not gonna in every other aspect of sports, people will say, "Well, watch the film." The film doesn't lie, except for this instance. They say, "Oh no, the film is lying to you. Those players are faster." Like you don't see this guy out here that looks like a plumber playing basketball in the NBA. You don't see that with your own eyes. You're just making that up. But no, I see it. I see the guys that are out there on the court, and they're not elite. They're not fast. Their side to side movement is nothing compared. They wouldn't make it. They wouldn't. They can't play against the kids of today. Some of those guys. There is high school basketball players today
Who though?
that are.
Who?
What do you mean who?
Who can't play?
Everybody except for the superstars.
But that's what I'm
You
saying.
got a couple of
We're talking about
guys.
Michael Jordan and LeBron. You're saying everybody.
No, but I'm saying we're talking about who Michael Jordan played against versus who LeBron played against. Michael Jordan didn't play against the Spurs. He didn't play against the Warriors. He didn't play against Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks. He never played teams like that.
I'm not gonna deny that.
He never played that. When you look at Kobe's career, Kobe played better teams. Kobe played the Spurs. The Spurs existed while Kobe existed. Nobody that was as good as Michael Jordan was there when Michael Jordan was winning. All of the bad boy Pistons, Magic Johnson, all these guys were done. It was timing. And I'm saying to you, this is no disrespect to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the pioneer, right? It's like if you go to golf, nobody argues in golf. Right? Jack Nicklaus he won more times than Tiger Woods. He did. He won more majors than Tiger Woods. But they don't argue. They don't sit up and say, "Oh, well, that Tiger Woods ain't better." Because he's not. He's way better than Jack Nicklaus. It's not even close. It's the same thing with LeBron and Michael Jordan. As far as individual, I'm not talking about team. Rings is a team statistic. It has nothing to do with an individual player. Michael Jordan was scoring 37 points 37 points a game before he started winning rings. They didn't win rings because Michael Jordan could score. They won rings because they put pieces on that team that did all the things that Michael Jordan couldn't do. And you see today, we see that the shooting guard position is dying. You know why? Because you have point guards that can score and pass. No, the shooting guard, you see these guys that are like these pure shooting guards, like Ant, right? They can't do anything in the playoffs because what's the point? That position, all they do is score. If you don't have a point guard that can facilitate, doesn't matter. Just like Kobe Bryant, right? Kobe Bryant was goated, but he had Derek Fisher to facilitate. Yeah. It's one of those things that people will never talk about. It's the shoes, it's the branding, it's the aura. And I will say this. I will give Michael Jordan his credit where it's due. He changed the game. Right? Like as far as what people see and perceive and how they ingest the game of basketball, it's different because of him. The standard was set by him. And so I will give him that. I will say, hey, you raised the bar in this sport. Like, you deserve your flowers. But as far as him being, I don't think not LeBron. I don't think Michael Jordan's better than Kareem. It's hard for me to say that Michael Jordan's better than Kareem. It's hard for me to say that he's better than Kobe, who has 5 rings against other dynasties. There was other dynasties that existed while he was playing. LeBron, see, like people say, oh, LeBron only has 4 rings. All of LeBron's rings exist in a period where there was teams that were better than his. You can say whatever you want about the Heat. They went against the Spurs. We watched it together. The Spurs were nasty every year.
But so were the Heat. Like, we're not going to.
You're nasty. I'm not saying that they weren't. I'm saying.
But when you speak of this, is why this right here is why I say the GOAT conversation it's kind of futile, because you get into there's no way around it. You start getting into talking about teams. Once you start talking about teams, it's not about an individual being better, because there's not one man ever in the history that you said they won a championship by themselves. I don't care if they won it with a team that you were like, okay,
except for Kawhi Leonard.
No, because, bro,
Kawhi Leonard is the only person that has a ring by himself. And I'm standing on that. Standing on that.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm standing on it.
It's impossible. He can't score 100 points. He can't get 50 rebounds.
No, like, when I say by yourself,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But when you got to be real when you're talking about it. It's a team sport. He can't get 50 rebounds. When you say a player doing it by himself, this is why LeBron and LeBron saying what he's saying is like, I think we both can, because they both serve different purposes. Yes, he's a shooting guard, but this goes back to what I told you. If he were to give him 3 years in today's NBA from the start of his prime, he's going to adjust. Teams are also going to be structured different. He's going to have different types of players on his team where he's going to be passing it to. He's going to have, you give him a stretch big. Like, you can't indefinitely be like, I get it. There was plumbers there, but Michael Jordan is in a different category. Even if you say he's not as good as LeBron, if you put him in today's era, it's not like you put him in today and tell him to play in an NBA game, one game. Like, that's not realistic. Like, you got to be realistic. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you were to put LeBron and be like, oh, LeBron couldn't play it, they'd be like, oh, they couldn't play in a physical era. And it's like, give him 3 seasons and see what he does. See how he adjusts. He'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just saying that Michael Jordan's game, we see players that have that same skill set, right? And you see Devin Booker, you see Ant, you see these guys that are shooting guards, and they're elite players. for sure. But guess what? They don't have any facilitators on the court with them. And so what happens to them? They fall short of championships. That's the same thing that happened to Michael Jordan. He lost. They lost to the Pistons 3 times in a row. Right? So it's like, until he had that, he lost. LeBron is the facilitator as well as the scorer, as well as whatever he needs to be. LeBron can be anything on the court. And I'm saying, when you talk about who is the greatest of all time, it's who is the best basketball player as an individual. And
what I'm telling you is, if LeBron was born in the same time as Michael Jordan, and he played in the 90s and he grew up in that era, he would have been a true small forward. Like, it's that's why I say you cannot that's why the GOAT debate is ridiculous, because you cannot compare generations when it's just like football. Certain dudes are going to be filtered in how they're coaching, how the system is. When older football players, they didn't have the stuff that football players have today, the system and the systematically, medically, how they go through stuff, that makes a difference. The stuff that LeBron has, you give that to some of these players from back then that are high caliber, Olympic caliber players from that time, they will adjust. That's why it's dumb, because yeah, everything you're saying is right if you compare the generations. But certain things that LeBron is doing, and his teams and how they were structured, and the things that these other players were allowed to do, that's not how they play basketball. It has to evolve to that. So, like, I agree with you from a standpoint of,
they didn't play basketball like that when LeBron got drafted. LeBron created that. Just like players didn't shoot the way Michael Jordan did before he came. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying, like, LeBron would have probably, we've seen LeBron as a point guard. We saw Magic Johnson, the same size.
Okay. Your point.
So I'm saying LeBron would have been a point guard if he would have got drafted in 1984 or whatever you said. Like, if LeBron got drafted back then, he would not have played power forward. He'd have been a point guard. LeBron is a point guard. That small forward thing, it is a joke.
But I don't think so, because he came into the league and he still had to polish other tools before he fully became into like a point forward. And then you put a stacked team around him. Yeah, of course you're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has the skill set. He's from a skill standpoint. So he's a great intellectual talent on the basketball court. But you put the talent, and you put players that are accustomed to a 3-point shooting era, that have lived through and won and seen that different type, like, basketball evolution. All that stiffness from back then, that's what they were watching. They grew up watching the dudes in the 80s. So that was new and fresh to them. That's what I'm saying. The basketball generation, you can only compare, I would say, like, I think you should stick decade to decade. I don't think in any world, and that's why I agree with you. I think that's why the dudes from the 90s be like, Michael is better than Kareem, but somebody like you who wasn't around in both those generations can look back and be like, I still see more value in Kareem. Like, when we're older, and this younger generation that's coming up with Wemby and them now, they're gonna revere LeBron James. But if, like, a player like Wemby keeps going on, or like more guys come out, they're not stuff is gonna get forgotten. The game's gonna evolve, and they're gonna be saying the same stuff. It's a repeated cycle.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that the only reason that this is a thing is because it's Michael Jordan, right? It's a brand thing. It's not a logic thing. Like, for Wemby, Wemby's the best big man. I can already say right now, from what I've seen, based on what I've seen from every other big man that's ever been a superstar, Wemby is better than all of them in the sense of a talent. He can shoot the ball. He can play defense. He can rebound.
He can dribble. He's athletic.
He can dribble.
He has real athleticism.
Bruh, like, there's nothing that I've ever seen in another big man. The only thing that's close is Joker, but Joker still has holes in his game because he can't play defense. He's better. He's way better.
He looks fluent with it.
He looks like a guard. Wemby is like something that you make in a video game.
Yeah.
Like, if you have unlimited stats and you can make a 7'5" demon that can dribble like Steph Curry, and, like, bro, it's insane what he's able to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, the eye test does matter sometimes. Like, yes, I know what somebody will say. Oh, well, Wemby doesn't have any championships. He doesn't have any rings. Yeah, but from what I've seen so far, nobody adds up to what I see in Wemby. Wemby might never win a championship. I don't know if I'm sure he will, right? Because guys are going to wind up getting hurt.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get out of his way. He's going to get somebody. They're going to bring more people in. It's the Spurs, right? But from what I see right now, who is better than him as far as just a big man goes, as far as his position? So then it expands from, okay, you're the best big man to, okay, are you the best player? Let's put you up against these other players. And I think when it's all said and done, Wemby will have an argument for that. But I'm saying for LeBron as it stands right now, if you had to start a team with somebody, if you don't take LeBron, what are you doing? Like if you look at it from a business standpoint, whatever team LeBron's on wins games. He's went to more finals. He's damn near went to the finals half of his career. He's been 8 times, 9 times?
But then you can make I don't want to go there, but it's
is it 10 times?
10 times, I think.
Yeah. So it's like, and he's played 22 years? So he's went to the finals half the times. Let's not talk about the Western Conference Finals. The man has more playoff wins than some teams do.
Yeah.
The Bulls are the only team that are even close.
Yeah, but see, I would make the argument that his teams were more skilled than Michael Jordan's teams.
I don't see how you can say that, though.
I'm saying when you talk, I'm talking skill, like shooting, dribbling, passing, like they were better at it. Like maybe not his Cavs team, but that Heat team, they don't have a player at the size of Chris Bosh that could stretch the floor, could dribble. You got to step back. He guard.
Scottie Pippen?
No. Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen was better than Chris Bosh.
Chris
Way
Bosh
better.
is 6'10".
So is Scottie Pippen.
Is he 6'10"?
Let's look it up.
I'm pretty sure. You got D Wade, Chris Bosh. You guys had Shane Battier, right? Mario Chalmers.
Scottie Pippen 6'8". With a 7'3" wingspan.
Yeah, he got him.
That wasn't no little fella. So I'm saying, and Chris Bosh is 6'11", so he's 3 inches taller. But Scottie Pippen's a way better defender than Chris Bosh. Way better.
How can you say he's a way better defender when you're saying he's guarding dudes that ain't got no bag like that? Like that's where it's like, if you're gonna say that about Jordan, then you have to also critique how good was his team actually in comparison.
I'll say this: Scottie Pippen took a team to the conference finals. Chris Bosh never took a team to the conference finals.
But I'm saying in retrospect, who is he guarding on an every night basis? The players that Braun and Chris Bosh are having to see, like you're saying, that they're having to guard. How is it easy for you to say like that Michael had a teammate that's such a great defender? Because like D Wade was strapping too, and he's guarding more guys that are quicker at, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're saying Jordan,
D Wade's an all-time defender at his size. So
that's what I'm saying. But
let's not misconstrue it though. I'm saying, okay, so I understand the angle that you're coming from, but I'm saying for his era, Chris Bosh was never a defender. He was never an elite defender. He never was an elite defender. How many all defenses does he have? He wasn't good against his relevant talent. He wasn't good enough to transgress eras, is what I'm saying to you. It's like, okay, you have guys that they're so good in their era that you can have a conversation about it. You can't have a conversation about certain players transgressing into other eras because they weren't even good in their own. Like, we can't say Kevin Love.
Chris Bosh wasn't good in his own?
Not by himself. He was okay. He was Kevin
But no,
Love.
but see, that's
He
what
was
I'm
Kevin
saying. No,
Love.
listen, time
He
out.
was he
That's
Kevin
what
Love
I'm
or was he
saying though.
not
That's what
Kevin
I'm saying.
Love?
You
Answer the
can't
question.
listen,
Are Chris Bosh and Kevin Love not the
listen,
same guy?
listen. They're not. And this is what I'm gonna tell you. Listen, that's what I'm saying. That's why you can't have this conversation. Because you can't talk about the team and then be like, what are these guys doing by themselves? Because like, I'm sorry, that's like, I don't know, that's just an outdated argument. None of these guys, I'm not saying these guys can. D Wade realistically didn't do anything by himself.
D
You
Wade
can
was
talk.
nasty.
He was nasty. I'm not saying that. LeBron has the accolades to be like he's done the most for all the teams that he's been on, but he never did it by himself. All I'm saying is on a team to team aspect, their 10 versus their 10. Who this team is seeing, the types of teams, the run and gun, the more possessions, like what you're saying in your argument for like LeBron in the era of basketball that he's playing in, you would think that the average defender that is good would be a more phenomenal defender back then because they're not the types of moves, the types of plays, what they're running. And if you're saying it's on a lesser level, yes, I'm saying Scottie Pippen is a he's a transcendental player, but if that's the argument, that's all I'm saying. Like,
Well, the argument is that the best teams are better. I would say that, like I brought up the Spurs, right? The Spurs was a dynasty. They had what, 5 championships before it was all said and done. Like there's
yeah,
there they had all time great player on their team. The top 75 of all time player,
you talking
right?
about David Robinson, or you
I'm
talking
talking
about
about
Tim?
Tim Duncan.
No, I know. I'm
Manu
talking.
Ginobili too, I think was a top 75, was he not?
I just didn't know when you were saying like for the start from like when they
No, I'm
won
saying
with.
I'm saying in the era of LeBron.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
saying LeBron went up against the Spurs and he went up against the Warriors and he won
Yep,
against both of them. He
yep.
also lost against both of them. But
hmm
I'm saying, how much weight do you put on going up against a team that was the best team ever?
I
The
think
Warriors.
LeBron's. I think LeBron's finals wins for sure are better than Jordan's finals wins for sure. But I was my what I was saying is I think because of the amount that LeBron does, people also don't. I would say his team overall was better skilled than the players that MJ had. That's what I'm saying. Like if MJ, you take him and you give him players that can do the things that LeBron's weapons can do, it's different.
I don't know if
MJ
they can
MJ
exist with.
didn't have a bro. Even just talking about the like a Mario Chalmers coming off the bench, and Norris Cole coming off
They
the
had the
bench.
foreign dude that was nasty. What was his name? He was nasty. He was coming off the bench scoring 15, 20 points for the Bulls. They
Yeah,
had
but I'm
Steve
saying, is
Kerr
it?
too.
That's what I'm asking you. Is it the same? You're using the argument that MJ didn't play against nobody. So is their 15 20 the same as when these guys are coming out and having a game where they're scoring 15 20 on the Spurs? That's what I'm saying. In retrospect, his MJ's support. If you're saying that it's a weaker pool talent, and then you're saying that he's playing dynasties and these guys, you go look at the stats and see who performed. Yes, LeBron longevity, we've proven that he's the guy that's like going to be the consistent front runner. But I'm saying his if the game today is better at a higher volume, more skilled, wouldn't that mean that his role players are better than MJ's role players? Like his teams are better in retrospect.
I don't know. It's a reasonable question, but it's debatable.
Okay.
It's a reasonable question though. I don't know if it's hard to say that because players that don't really play are harder to assess than players that do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we've never seen enough of any of those players to really argue that. Now, as far as I don't know if that's a relevant conversation in regards to putting the eras up against each other, just only from the simple fact that the backups are as good as they are. they don't play enough to really get a chance to be what the superstars get to be. So to say, oh, well, his teams were better, I don't know about that.
Well, you're
I
not
think
seeing guys off the bench have 50 back then. Like that's that's when I talk about skill. I get what you're saying. Like even like making the right move, being the in the team atmosphere. Like they had a system, they
no,
had a
you're right.
coach. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
we
Like,
just saw that with the Timberwolves. They had a dude come off the bench and drop 48.
and they were
And he
saying they
was on
didn't
the
know he was
bench.
that good. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we've seen that more in today's era because of not only the rules but like
Well,
how
because
teams play
everybody's an
basketball.
offensive threat now.
Exactly. And so
It's just
that's why
about getting an opportunity.
yeah, that's true. But I would definitely take LeBron for my team. I think it's hard to compare, especially because they're two different positions. Like LeBron's a shooting guard, like you said, and he's a small forward. Like you're gonna even from the jump,
Yeah.
you're gonna ask them to do completely different things. LeBron, he's been big, like he said, I've been it all my life. You know what I'm saying? So like
I
he's
think
been
the biggest difference with LeBron and MJ is as LeBron's gotten older, he's still been an elite player. And
oh
for
for
me,
sure.
that's the biggest, like the career points, the championships, that's all kind of important too. But
Even
this,
what he's done in this year's playoffs, and
yeah,
this year to like help will the Lakers through and like being at his age and going through a trade like that with Anthony Davis, Luca having to get new guys and like doing all this mid-season stuff, like that's not easy, even for young guys that are in their prime. So um, I think if you're talking about who you would build your team around, yeah, I think LeBron is a clear-cut answer, especially if you get him from if you know what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? Like I know this guy's gonna be this and this guy's gonna be this. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this for sure. Um, Yeah, I think that'll always be a good conversation though. Like it'll never be a conversation that dies, especially with a guy like Wimby coming up. Can't wait to see what he do.
yeah. Well, all right, we're gonna move on to the next one. This is kind of a big one.